Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bonus Point Rugby podcast. My name is TJ Olsen, and great to have you with us for episode 67. The Pacific Nations Cup has officially concluded, with the US showing they still have what it takes to compete on the world stage. The reigning champions in the Women's World Cup have been vanquished and are now fighting for a bronze medal against France coming up this week. The Rugby Championship is heating up to an exciting conclusion. They will finally crown a champion with every single team still in contention for top spot. Plenty of stuff to talk about, plus Bunnings NPC and other incredible rugby going on throughout the world. Let's dive straight in. This is the Bonus Point Rugby Show. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Bonus Point Rugby Show. Let's just dive straight in with our rapid recap. Bunnings NPC, it has been a very interesting week of matches. Canterbury, Otago, and Taranaki sit on top of the table. You've also got a lot of All Blacks that are heading back to the NPC, guys like Caleb Clark, Rico Ioane, Luke Jacobson, Sammy Penny-Finau, Anton Leonard-Brown, Lester Fainganuku, who's just returned from overseas, Josh Lord, Peter Larkai, George Bauer, Kyle Preston, Ruben Love. This competition is not just for the young bloods or the developing players. This is also including a lot of outstanding talent. So great to see that the thriving Bunnings NPC is just bringing us so much enjoyment week on week. A Pacific Nations Cup, we spoke about that a little bit in the previous weeks on episodes. We got to see USA qualify. I will say that again. USA qualify for a Rugby World Cup in 2027, beating Samoa. Unsure what is happening with the Samoan side of things. I know that with the international test against Chile, I know they drew 32-32. So that's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds. I have to look into that a little bit more. But we got to see some great matches against Tonga and Canada. Tonga on top, 35-24. Tonga hasn't really done a bad thing this tournament, other than not making it to the final. They've had an outstanding tournament. Good on Tonga. They did a great job. Fiji versus Japan, that was also an incredible match. 33-27 was that final score. And Fiji did come out with a lot of flair. They do what they do, but Japan, they held in. They stuck a lot of good rugby against that Fijian side, and I'm really excited to see them come into the next international test series because, man, those teams have been outstanding. Last bit, Women's Rugby World Cup. England women, we expected them to move forward, and they beat France. We knew that it was coming. They've been dominant for years. We knew they were going to make a Rugby World Cup final unless something happened dramatically. So really excited to see how England go up against Canada, who, man, they demolished the Black Ferns. They had their number in every which way, shape, or form. 34-19 was that final score. Black Ferns are still playing for a bronze medal. I mean, I'm not happy about the way the Black Ferns played over the weekend, but there's still another week. I know those players are going to be feeling it, and we are behind you 100% to get that bronze medal won and bring it back to New Zealand. Last bit is going to be the Rugby Championship. We're going to be diving into that. Plenty, obviously, no games this past week because of the bye week, the break. But we've got two very exciting matches coming up this weekend. New Zealand and Australia, All Blacks versus Wallabies for the Bledisloe Cup. Is it going to head home to Australia? We've got a pretty exciting guest to chat to us and chat a little bit about what Wallabies have been doing right and what the All Blacks can do to improve. South Africa play the Pumas this weekend. It's going to be an exciting couple of matches and Rugby Championship on the line. All right, that is it for our rapid recap, and very excited to get to the bulk of our show because this week we have the pleasure of chatting with a man who can shed a lot of light on both US rugby and rugby in the Pacific. Please welcome former Maori All Blacks player and Old Glory DC player, Jason Emery. How are we doing, Jace?
Hey, bro. Thank you for a little intro. Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Good to catch. Yeah, I'm good. Good to catch up. I know it's been a minute. I know last time we spoke where you were living in LA and you've switched allegiances and you're over in DC now. How's everything been going? Because it looks like you've had a pretty busy summer.
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously the season didn't want it to, but it's been a good learning being a new. And yeah, the East Coast is a little bit more chill than the West Coast. Yeah, but I'm actually doing some coaching at Mount St. Mary's, so that's been real refreshing, actually. Really enjoyed it so far.
That's great. Yeah, and I saw you've been working with the Nova team as well. I saw you out there with sevens for nationals. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Kurt Baker was head coach, and I was just tagging along with him. Even ended up winning the
man.
netting, which was cool.
Right, that's a coaching combination if I've ever seen one. You and Mr. Baker over there, man, got a lot of hot steppers and a lot of good skills. That'd be great for a sevens program to learn from you two.
Yeah, Kurt's obviously a tennis player, so it's always good to learn off him. I don't play at seven sets, what, 17, 18, so I've been out of the game for a while. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Well,
definitely want to be able
awesome.
to get up and play with them.
Yeah, well, speaking of US rugby, I mean, we got to witness something a lot of people said wouldn't happen over the past few years, and that's US qualifying for a Rugby World Cup in 2027. Before we dive into like the ins and outs of everything, as someone who's lived over here for a while, as someone who plays professionally over here, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How does it feel just you seeing them going from that evolution of not qualifying in 2023 to now reaching that qualification again in 2027? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think people expected it that playing the MLR. I think the standard of the rugby that was in the MLR has gone a lot better since I was first year, 4 years ago. And yeah, talking to a few of the board, I think it's more relief that they that they did some more just to get in. I don't think they want to go against Chile in another two test. Yeah. Like if I was to be honest, I was expecting them to get to the World Cup, and now they're there. It's a good platform for 2031, which is cool.
Yeah, no, it's great to hear because when you think of the teams that were going up against Samoa, Tonga, Tonga had a cracker of a season. Fiji and Japan, obviously, in that upper echelon. But when you think of the US going against Samoa, it's like you said, there's been a lot of hard work and grind that's come out to go ahead and tackle a tier two nation at the moment that they're like Samoa. So it's great to hear. But when we're thinking of depth, obviously, like you said, the MLR is playing its own part, but it's going through its own struggles at the moment with teams opting out of next season. And we've also got the under 20s World Championship coming next year with the new crop of players coming through, possibility of them becoming some of those fringe players in 2027. So there's a lot of raw talent and there's a lot of, I guess, battled hardened pros that are coming through the ranks that will fit the mold. So when you look at US development, because you've seen both New Zealand and US development and Japanese as well, what do you think is something that needs to shift in the grassroots level or even in just the admin level for the US to stay competitive in this upcoming World Cup?
Yeah, I think like in New Zealand, it's our main sport. So the programs we have is a clear path. I think we talked about this before, maybe comparing it to the NBA or NFL or the big, the four major sports. There's a clear path on what you kind of have to do to get to that level. But I feel like in US, there's not really a clear path for how players from college can go to make it to the MLR. Like I would put a lot of time into academies that each MLR team have. Academy is good because once they finish college, and they can start progressing through to the academies, and with the academies, they'll be around the boys that are fishing twice a week, for example. So they're learning that as well. Yeah, I'd really put time into the academy age first, but the key age I reckon is when they're young. But I know that obviously the different sports that they play like around that 8 to 10 years old is when I started playing rugby. So I know that's probably realistic at the moment, but for a starter, I'd really put time into the academy programs and the environment.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think they're starting to make strides in I guess the opportunity to promote rugby because you've got like the opportunity to say this is a better sport for concussion. It's a safer sport. It's something where any shape or size can play, and I think like people like Alona Ma, international rugby, it's starting to become more prevalent on the scene in the US. And I think also when you think of the academies, like you said, like the Old Glory DC, they have a great academy out there. East Coast does it really well. And I think we saw recently some of the collegiate academies. I think they did like a West Coast or an East Coast all-star team competition. Like that's the kind of things you want to start seeing, which we see pretty regularly in New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah, and I think with the academies too, it's good to have them because, say, if the draft keeps happening, they're kind of seeing the top players from the draft, but sometimes it's people that kind of below the radar, they don't mature until they're older, but fill out as body ones. And so those are the players you really want to get to because I know a lot of players that didn't make U20 teams that weren't good at high school, college, and now they're like 30 players. So so it's a tough. But just on the back of the academies, I think it's important you got the right people coaching, teaching the kids the right technique or how to tackle safely, or just all that stuff. It all comes together, I think, in terms of having an academy.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I think having guys like you and Kurt out in the East Coast, having guys like Luke White from Chicago, he's coaching out at the Blaze at the moment. He's doing an excellent job. You see all of the progression that he's made with that club. I think, like you said, getting the right minds and also getting the right development and attitude to come in and showcase the sport and also teach them how to do it the right way so they get that right development. 100%. Yeah, so I think that's great. But speaking on international talent, I know people like yourself, other international players that have come into the MLR, they tend to help raise and change the culture and the standards in professional rugby. So there's a lot of chat at the moment about MLR and the potential changes to that. So how important do you think are international players for the MLR to maintain that development, to maintain that standard, to keep them humming toward that World Cup that's coming up in a couple of years?
Yeah, I think it's important because it's quite a relatively new competition, and as long as the foreigners coming in are trying to grow as well, like that's a big thing for us here at Glory is the internationals that come in, we want to help, grow their American talent, help them, skills wise, how they review or preview a game, like just little stuff that they probably haven't been around. And then also I think it's because it's a new competition, is just getting the product out there, a good product for watching rugby, running rugby, good games. Like I said, the competition's been better over the last 40 years as in like the rugby product that people are seeing. There's a lot of chat about changes and happening next year, which I totally understand. Like you want to grow American talent, but at the same time, I think you've got to have in mind you want to put a good product out there to grab people's attention. New sponsors or new people that haven't seen rugby. That's the people we want to try and capture them at the moment. It's actually once people learn the rules and skills of the game, it's pretty complicated to watch.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think like you were talking about before about building that depth and getting players to develop in the right fashion and also get players to stick with the sport, that we're not going to be able to do that if we don't have people leading the way and showing them how to do that. So, yeah, I think it's definitely important. Like you said, we definitely want to grow American talent, but with it not being a predominant sport in America, got to have both sides of the coin. So I think, it's going to come with it. But the last thing I wanted to pick your brain on before we touch on the international stuff is you've been here for a few years and I heard you mention sponsorship. I heard you mention a few other things to make sure that rugby breaks into the mainstream. If you could just pick one thing that you would say, let's put all our money into this bucket and try and invest into that to break into the mainstream, what would you say that would be?
That's a good question.
And there's never a right answer. I mean, there could be 50 different things, but I know you've been out here for a few years. You've seen different markets, like you've seen New York, you've seen LA, you're now in DC. There's so many different angles and different, I guess, viewerships as well. So it could be one thing. I think sponsorship's a great one, but
I think like a thing that's probably frustrating me, it's like every year it's MLR, it's changed, like there's teams jumping out. And I think as other in the rugby community, people looking over to the States, they'll be seeing teams like that there now and other teams like that. Like it's real. I think that creates quite a negative look to US rugby where it's actually good playing over here. It's a good competition. I think for me it would be having a steady competition. Things always in. So I think every year I can remember near the back end when it's finals time, we're probably not talking about the players. We're talking about this is going to change next year. Which I think this year, like this was probably the closest playoffs. Like it was any team could have won. It was so tight. But instead we're talking about just rumors been around about teams dropping out. So if we can sort that MLR competition out, have a solid foundation around teams always staying in, and I know that the logistics around politics around behind the scenes around what happens with teams staying in if they've got contracts or if they can just leave when they want. But if we can sort that out and have a really steady competition, you can start growing every year. Kind of like it has the last 4 years apart from dropping out every year. That's quite a poor answer. So, that was just what I was thinking.
No, I agree. I think it is really disheartening every year to come in and you say, okay, we've made these strides and we've got this competition. It's been great in spurts, and then next minute you see a Houston Sabercats or a Dallas Jackals or someone turn around and go, we are not participating in the 2026 or the 2027 season. It's really tough because you've got a lot of people who are trying to build these fan bases, and there are a lot of players that are making sacrifices or making decisions based on the thought process or the hope that this competition is going to become like the NBA or the NFL one day, which we think it can be, because rugby is an incredible sport and we just want to see more people experience it. So yeah, I'm right there with you, brother. I'd love to see a little bit more consistency in the MLR.
Yeah, and it's like I feel for the players that I've been through it myself is like in New York, we just got a WhatsApp message, like we didn't get a Zoom call up, but some other teams have got issues. So it is like from both sides as a fan, I could see the frustration, but like you said, more so for the players, but more for the foreigner boys that have to come over or having to come over for bring their family. Yeah, you're just not settled. Yeah, it's a weird feeling because like you talk to the foreigners, all of them would probably say they enjoyed it being in America. They would have think I'd be playing here. And then the things that scared people off is, like I talked about, the uncertainty around what's going to change this year. Is that team still going to be in? So it's quite I enjoy the rugby over here, enjoy America, and that side of it is, very frustrating.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I think being a professional athlete or a professional coach, it's something where you're always prepared if something turns around and that one decision gets made where you lose your job or something does happen, like that comes par with the course, but you never think you're going to be walking on eggshells and a whole team disappears. Like that's, since I came to America, that's never something that I ever thought would ever happen. Like I thought it would always be a discussion and there would always be like, this team is set to not participate 2 years from now or something like,
exactly.
It's interesting, but yeah, hopefully
Pretty
the
cutthroat.
investment from World Rugby. Yeah, no, it's very cutthroat, but yeah, it's crazy. I'm hoping that the investment from World Rugby, I know they're investing, I think around 25 million or something in the hopes of the World Cup and the investment in that. Hopefully some of that money will go towards the investment in the league, support systems and things like that. So the league can flourish and it can be what we know it can be. So yeah, no, that's great. Well, shifting gears, let's talk a little bit about some, I guess, local stuff, you can call it for us. Bledisloe Cup. All Blacks are heavy favourites, but the Wallabies have some youth. They have some unpredictability. We saw them get wins over the Box and the Pumas, and their other games were narrow losses. So instead of us going to what we know very well, which is the All Blacks, what can you think about the Wallabies to mount a serious challenge in this Bledisloe Cup series?
Yeah, I think Aussie have been the most consistent team. I know they've all had the same amount of wins and losses, but their losses have been pretty close. All Black, obviously All Blacks got pumped to get to South Africa, which is not nice. But I think I'm pretty nervous. I've been this nervous for Bledisloe since I was like young. I just like the way how they've adapted how they play. Like they're quite skillful, and you saw that in the Super Rugby competition. What do they call that again?
The Super Rugby Pacific competition now?
Yeah, Pacific, sorry, yeah.
I don't know, it's changed names like 5 times, bro, so yeah, it's totally fine. It goes, Super 10, Super 12, Super 14, it's changed every couple of years. So.
It's changed, yeah. But it was, you saw all the Aussie teams were competitive, right? Usually it could be some teams might rest the All Blacks to the Aussie games and then keep them fresh for the Kiwi games. You saw that, and it was good to see over all the teams. Usually it's just the Brumbies or the Raiders that are kids. I'm excited to see how it goes, and obviously Eden Park is a fortress for the All Blacks. So I hate for the All Blacks fortress to end from the Wallabies, to be honest.
Right, if that happens, like it's 51 game unbeaten streak plus the Wallabies and plus the potential of losing a Bledisloe, like that's, I don't know how you even come back from that. Like that's something where I just throw my hands up and go, man, but. Yeah, like you mentioned it, the fortress, the unbeaten streak, it's dated back to, I think, France, the loss with France in 1994. And I think it's like 49 wins, 2 draws during that period. And it's honestly like New Zealand's most, and some of like World Rugby's most feared places and impenetrable fortress to play. I'd imagine you played at that venue a couple of times. Like what is it about that venue that just makes it like it's unbeatable? Or is it the fans? Is it the facility? What's about it?
Yeah, I played there a few times. It wasn't as packed as what they're going to get this weekend, but I played there. Facility's awesome. Training rooms are big. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of just one of those things where the boys must just be comfortable playing there. And I'm guessing they wouldn't talk too much about the tests not losing within 51 games. So, I couldn't tell. I think it's just, when you get one of those coaches where you just feel comfortable playing somewhere, and I just think that's just what the All Blacks have. It's pretty impressive when you say it out loud.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. In like my opinion, whenever I've thought about it, because obviously us as Kiwi fans, we've had a long time to think about like what happens at Eden Park, why it's like that. I think it's like fortress psychology. It's like everyone who walks out at Eden Park, they feel the legacy, the past wins, the big crowds, like you said. Like I've been to Blues games where there've been like 8,000, 10,000 fans, and you can still feel like the electricity in the air. It's like New Zealand teams, they don't just play to play, they defend their turf, and like that's the kind of feeling that I feel when I see the All Blacks go out and play at Eden Park. It's just something that's it's always been that. It's like they're going to defend it, they're going to win it, and then it's just written in the history.
Yeah, I haven't said anything on his end. Yeah, it's going to be awesome test match. The easiest for you, it won't be that too late for you. A little bit earlier for me.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, because it's a 5 p.m. game instead of a 7 p.m. game, so I can actually watch it instead of watching a replay and avoiding my phone every time, because that's what I've been doing, and people have been spoiling the score for me. Trying to be assholes. They've been like texting me and going, look at this, and I'm like, nah, not even going to chance it. I'm just gonna watch the replay and then I'll look at my phone like a couple hours later. But yeah, East Coast time, it must be tough trying to watch an All Blacks game.
Yeah, and I'm a big Leaf fan too, so it's like the times are real bad, but my mornings are pretty free, so I end up either waking up or staying up and watching it.
Oh, you can't catch me ever watching a State of Origin game live anymore. It's like it's too late. It's the fact that it's on at 8 o'clock in Brisbane. Like it's next to 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. There's no way I'm watching that live. I'm just. You guys get to have like what, and find a pub that opens up at 6 a.m. and just go grab a couple of beers and just go start the day early. That'd be good.
Fuck up.
But speaking on the All Blacks side, I think Jason Holland, the team's attack coach, they spoke to the media addressing several key factors following the huge defeat to the Springboks in Wellington. A game that I think the Boks piled on 36 unanswered points in the second half. So we know that the aerial game is tough for them. They've struggled all year with it. We know that they have an inability to score points late, which have been honestly the Australian saving grace. Like they had a terrible game against the South Africans, and they were able to score a lot of points in that like fourth quarter period. So from like a tactical standpoint, where do you think the All Blacks are going to have to really focus on to make sure the Wallabies don't exploit it and they really handle their business?
Yeah, I think the aerial battle won't be as it's important, but South Africa, it's in the DNA. It's kicking physicality, but I think I read somewhere that someone said it is All Blacks look real robotic, like they're real predictable. So I'm kind of expecting physicality to be there easy because, obviously coming off from it. I think they'll try I think we'll see them playing a bit more free and obviously, cross-field kicks or certain plays. That's what I'm hoping to see them a bit more free and playing a brand of rugby that, all those boys can play that are skillful and stuff like that. So I'm expecting to see some try to sport, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think once they start getting humming and they start getting their offload game going, they play with a little bit more width and they don't look a little bit one-dimensional. I think they definitely do have an opportunity to find some weak shoulders or look for some opportunities. But the one thing I'm pretty nervous about, which Aussie doesn't have the greatest scrum, but I think our scrum hasn't really looked bulletproof. I think we've had a lot of flaws. Like we've had moments where we've held up our end of the bargain, but I think there's been some issues with our scrums where I'm pretty nervous going into this game, thinking that if Taniela Tupou has a good game, or if someone gets over top of us, we're gonna be in for some trouble.
Yeah, I never had much about scrums, so I'm not going to comment on what's going on. But, as a fact, you just want the call. But no, I think set piece, especially like nowadays, set piece is such a critical part of the game. It's like line out scrums. But yeah, I can't say the last time I saw a couple of All Black scrums going back. But obviously, South Africa pride themselves on set piece and scrums. And yeah, like you said, Aussie got like 100 credits on their scrums. So yeah, no, that All Blacks will try and fix it and make it a little bit.
Well, I remember you talking about Bledisloe memories, like you said that it's been a minute since you've even thought about like the All Blacks losing it. Do you have from your playing days from you as a kid, like do you have any favorite Bledisloe memories from games that you watched?
That's a great question. I used to have this Christian Cullen highlight, like what do you call those? The long tape you'd put into like a VCR.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
What are
about.
they calling it?
Yeah, I can't even remember the name, but yeah.
It's like a videotape or something. Yeah, kids these days don't know what that is. But I'll say the one that hurt me the most was John Nichols' kick at Whisper. Was that Whisper? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
For the Wallabies to win a Blazer. Yeah, that hurt me the most. But probably Jonah's try I think it was at the Olympic Stadium was the biggest crowd I think ever made, or might have been at that time. Jonah Longley's try was because it was quite late for us then. I was I don't know how old I was. But I remember scoring that. I think Tang Rankin gave him the all flag too.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that one. That one's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Man, too many good games to think about. But yeah. Okay. All right. Last bit before we head on to the bonus point segment. I would love to know one or two players on either side that you think need to have like a really, really good game to make sure they get the win. Like who are two players on each team that you think need to get the job done?
I reckon it will be, I want to say like the better the teams, Like I think Brady's probably, I don't know, have the teams come out yet?
Yeah, I don't know if the team's come out yet, but I would say Bodie's set to, it would be pretty soon because they name on Thursday. Yeah, so it should be coming out soon.
I'd say it'll be the better of the teams, I think, because, either team gets very forward or doesn't get in forward. And like I said, hopefully the All Blacks come out with a bit of an attacking mindset and Bodie's got his good little flat cross-field kicks. Yeah, I'm going to say out of the teams. What's the team's name for the Wallabies? I know Jimmy O'Connor's been on the pitch, but...
They've got... James O'Connor just got cleared this past week to come back for the Bledisloe, so he could be named to start because he's over in Leicester at the moment with his new contract, and then he's flying back this week. But Tane Edmed, who I thought had a great season with North Harbour last year when he was playing NPC, he had a shocker against the Pumas. So it's going to be interesting to see who they name in that first five jersey to take kind of the reins and see who they bring off the bench.
Yeah, I'd say it'll be a battle between the Old Dogs, Bodie and James O'Connor. I think it would be.
Yeah.
Like taking wise, see if you can put them in the right areas of the field. Yeah, that's my two guys to watch, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon it'll definitely come down to them, but I'm also interested to see who gets named in the 13 jersey. I think unless I'm mistaken, Joseph Suaalii should be in the mix. You obviously need a good 10 to get him the ball, but I think when it comes down to him and Billy Proctor, how they're going to go against each other, I think Billy struggled a bit with his one-on-one defense. So if he's able to stick with him and make sure he doesn't break or bend too many lines, then we should be good. But yeah, I think that's probably going to be the battle of the 10s and the battle of the centers. It's going to be interesting to watch.
Yeah, they use Suaalii like really well. I I watched against the Purple Springboks and not have him after the kick. I thought have him back because they're going to kick it to him. So Australia have been really smart around how they used him, and yeah, I agree. If they can contain him, I think. Yeah, he looks like a freak. He looks powerful and fast.
He's dangerous, bro. Like he doesn't look that big, but when he gets going, no one's going to stop him. He just has such a good step. He's got such a good acceleration. He's a freak.
Yeah. He just looks a lot more settled and comfortable now. I think when he first came over, it takes a bit of adjustment to to knock it up and roll the ball to clean out and jack it. But yeah, he looks a lot more comfortable. And yeah, it's going to be a good game. Can't wait.
Yeah, I was a big advocate for him to be placed in the fullback jersey as opposed to 13, but he's definitely proved me wrong. He's done a great job in that outside center jersey. Well, awesome. Okay, we'll see what happens. Yeah, I just checked. There's no team naming. I think it's going to be coming out, but stay tuned, everyone. Team naming is coming in a couple of hours, I think. So we'll break that as soon as it happens. But bonus point segment, Women's World Cup. Global growth, I think this weekend, I think the crowd is heading for 82,000 people out at Twickenham Stadium. So, yeah, and the fact that that's happened, like, I think when you look at the growth of what New Zealand did for the Women's World Cup in the past one and then now coming over, I mean, every game I've seen in England. Like I watched the game against Canada in Bristol for the Black Ferns. It looked awesome. How do you think, like, how important is this for women's rugby to see 82,000 people and growing the sport? Like what have your thoughts about the Women's World Cup this year?
Yeah, it's been huge. I think it's going to be an awesome occasion. 82,000 people to watch a game like Women's World Cup final. Awesome. And yeah, just to be in New Zealand when the Black Ferns at the last World Cup it was huge. So, and then just to see them, get even bigger, especially in England where rugby, it's quite big. It's been awesome to watch. Like I've been watching the Black Ferns games and England games, every now and then throughout the World Cup, and even like the other, like the competition was quite tight to get in the playoffs. The team started, so it's just awesome, and it's good that the product's growing, but then also the fans are just in behind it. Yeah, it's been awesome, I reckon.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, because I don't think it's just about the matches. I think it's been validation. It's showing like to the sponsors, to young girls that are playing out there who are aspiring athletes, like they belong on the world stage, and it's not just a male sport. It's something where they've kind of meshed together the beauty and the brawn. They've made such a good impact for the game, and seeing how it's flourished, like you've seen with Alona Mar and a few other people like Portia Woodman coming out of retirement and being that, I guess, that older figure for the young girls that are coming through. Georgia Miller playing outstanding footy and really representing and showing the pathway with the sevens as well. It's been huge. But I knew Canada was going to be a real contender, but I had no idea they were going to be that dominant and come in the final. What have been your thoughts on Canada?
Yeah, they especially against the Black Ferns, they just came out, they got firing, and it kind of looked like the Black Ferns kind of I guess weren't expecting it, but it took a bit of a shock. And similar to the South Africa All Blacks game, sometimes you have to tip your hat, sometimes the team, this comes out and they want it a bit more. But I've been really impressed by just the skills, like the skills that are shown. I love the way the Black Ferns play it. I love plays when you get the ball for kick-off in the plane. Like they've got a set shape, which is cool. I think you watch a men's game now, it's all about territory and how to get out here quicker. But yeah, I really like the way that the Black Ferns, they've got a set up to play. We've probably scored for the final tournament, maybe, if I'm thinking twice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Against, what was it, the last Ireland, was it? The last kind of game. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that aspect of the skills, like, all over the World Cup is good. Yeah, really. You've seen crossfield kick tries, big hits. Like I was watching with my wife and my daughter, and that's big hits.
Bro, some of those hits, I sit there and I tell myself, I was like, I don't want to play against some of those women. They whack hard, man. Like it's crazy. But no, I think it's been great. I think, especially from a Canada standpoint, where they've been a self-funded program for more so like a lot of the years. Like they've had to pull out of competitions, they've had to pull out of international test matches because they haven't got the funding. And to see that they've come through and show that you put 23 players on the field, a good coach, and just the belief that they can get it done, they can take down the world champions and they can go into an 82,000 pack stadium and try and compete for a rugby Women's World Cup. So that's going to be great. Well, yeah, I think that's it, brother. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me and catch up. I mean, I know everybody who listens to your last episode and this one, I know they're going to love your insight. I know you come on, so you're welcome anytime you want to come on and chat footy.
Yeah, I'm a free man at the moment, so yeah, anytime you need to chat about footy, but I'm available. No, thanks for having me again.
No, of course. Anything you want to plug before I let you go?
Mount St. Mary's Rugby.
Yeah,
it's good coaching it. Like I said, I think the college level is really important. So it's good, hopefully burn a pot on these boys, and they're good kids. It's really refreshing out to coach here. Skills coach here, which is I don't know, but it's good to be around these boys and let me feel young again. There's a few slang words that are going around that I don't know, so I feel like Kubler to see close.
You're trying to learn them. Yeah,
that makes me feel old. So thanks for it.
It's never a good feeling coming in and being that guy that you're trying to decipher what the young kids are saying. You're sitting there going, when did I get old? Like, when did that happen?
I feel like I know how my grandparents feel now. Like when we used to say stuff when we were young and they're looking at us. Because I look at the other coaches, they don't know what's about too. So I'm somewhat doing on.
Man, well, last question before I let you go. All Blacks are playing in Chicago against Ireland. Are you going to come out and watch that game? Make the road trip?
When is that? Is it in November sometime?
It's in the last week of October. So it'll be Halloween. Halloween will happen, and then November 1st, I think, is the game.
I'm actually getting back from Mighty Dance's wedding. It's on the 25th, and I'll be back in New Zealand, so I won't be back until like mid-November.
Damn.
Yeah. No, but
I'll represent for both of us. I'll make sure we'll go there. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for tuning into the Bonus Point Rugby Show. I'll be out of town. I'll be camping for a week, but we will be back the following week. And we love bringing you content all about Super Rugby, international rugby, and much more. Hopefully, the Bledisloe is in good hands when I get back from my camping trip. Jason, thank you so much. We appreciate you, brother, for coming on the show, and we will see everyone soon.